Mark, and he has that ability. We know that he can change.
He's good. He's a really good manager, Paul. You know, he's a good tactician. He knows the game inside out. The players trust him. The players respect him. And you know, just one wee phrase that he said there that I think I've ever heard a manager say it, because they never like to say that they've got it. He said, the perfect 11. I can choose the perfect 11. And the managers very rarely say that, because they always want to make out that they're a wee bit short and they need one or two more, and they'll always say that just to keep pressure on the board. But when you look at it, when you assess the Rangers squad in terms of domestic, if they got the perfect, they probably have. They've got 16, 17, 18 exceptional outfield players. They've got two really strong goalkeepers. So that's why I think, Paul, you look at it, the early signs with Rangers, you look at the early signs with Celtic, I think we're all in agreement the 4 Old Firm games are going to settle the title. See, out with the 4 Old Firm games, I'd be surprised if Celtic and Rangers even drop 5 or 6 points over the course of the other 34 games. I really would. And even when the Champions League starts, or Europa League, whatever it's going to be for Rangers, they're I think both of them have got the bit between their teeth, and they're going to be absolutely relentless. And also as well, both managers still talking about strengthening their squad between now and September the 1st. If they can add one or two more, my goodness.
Barry,
it's a big shout for Mark, but I think he's right. I do. I can't see Rangers or Celtic if their attitude's right and they stay clear of a number of injuries or suspensions. They're far too strong. They're far too strong for me. Even if you're going to tough places like Robbie's Hearts at Tynecastle, where it's a hard place to go, Pittodrie, Easter Road, Fir Park, all these places, I just think if Rangers and Celtic are mentally on it, they're far too strong
to lose any points. You think they'll
win? Listen, through a season it's important. Like, there's always one. You might have an off day and you might drop 2 points, or there might be a freak result, but genuinely I think they'll drop hardly any points between them. And as I said, I think it'll come down to Old Firm games, and don't be surprised over the next couple of weeks that both Rangers and Celtic do bring in a couple of players each.
Do you know what this reminds me of? And I know it's early days, Paul, in the season, but assessing both teams over 3 games now in the league and looking at it, this reminds me of the quality, and in terms of the gap between Celtic and Rangers and the rest, reminds me of Barry's team at Rangers under Dick and the Martin O'Neill team, that early 2000. I don't think both have been as strong. I don't think the gap's been as big since just over 20 years ago, when 19 weeks out of 20 years were blown. Both teams were blowing everybody away, and it was coming down. If you remember that kind of 2-season spell, when you look at the quality that you had in both lineups, you think of the Old Firm games, the starting 11s in that tunnel. I mean, it was frightening, the quality on show. I think we're back at that level again for the first time in 20 years.
Barry, you agree?
Yeah, it's close. I'm going to back the team that I obviously played in, and the Celtic team that I played against. I mean, there was some phenomenal players in both of their teams. Let's be honest. I don't need to
say a few names. Go on.
Just to be clear, I'm not saying the current teams are better than your guys. What I'm saying, I think in terms of the standard just now compared to the rest, I think it reminds me of 20 years ago.
I think there's a massive gap. The only one it could get within touching distance, but I think it'll be tough, is Hearts. But both Rangers and Celtic, you look at the squads, you look, for instance, Saturday Rangers, Ryan Kent, who's probably one of their top players, our biggest player, out. Sands is out. And then the same at Celtic, you're Hatate. There's one. He's out injured. Who, for me, generally when he's fit, does play in Celtic starting 11. And then both of them, as I said, they're definitely going to go and strengthen, both of them. So it just shows you the strength and depth and the quality that they've got. And as I said to you, they're too strong for everybody else. It's who's going to become that third club. And I keep saying it, Hearts keep that front three. Now they've got other good players throughout their team. Hearts keep that front three fit and healthy. Third place is theirs.